Welcome to Producer Plants, where we dig into the strategy beneath all the chaos on The Real Housewives. My name's Garrett, and that's Taj.
I'm Taj.
And we are two reality TV fans who have a long history watching Survivor and some of us The Real Housewives. And we are going to talk about all the social strategy that we think we see when we're watching these shows.
Yeah, I think people watch Housewives and they're like, that show is just women yelling at each other. But there's a lot more to it. There is a social hierarchy and dynamic that paves the show forward. And if you watch the show thinking that, you'll see it. It's like that movie Lucy. We are opening up our brain and we are expanding it. We're beyond 10%. And the
It's
11%, of using your brain is identifying the social hierarchy in Housewives.
Yeah, once you start looking at the show through that lens, it's really hard to stop. And it's fascinating. It's like Game of Thrones. You know, everyone's making these little moves to better their situations, and it's really a good time.
Everyone is also Littlefinger. They are the in your person's ear going, "My lord, we cannot show up to the dinner with a $10 bottle of wine, or else we'll get roasted at the 4th of July party."
And just like in Game of Thrones, you either win or you die.
Or you get arrested.
Yeah, that's dying.
Yeah. It's the housewife
metaphorical
outcomes.
death. Yeah.
Yes, ego death.
Ego death. Yeah, and even in this episode, we'll see that just because you're not a housewife does not mean you are not in the game. Also.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're going to strike while the iron's hot, and talk about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, the brand new housewife chapter for Bravo. And I think even in this episode alone, we get a pretty clear example of who's the top dog and who's not. Who's the big state and who's the little state, which is Rhode Island, because they're the smallest state.
Yeah, so for a little history on us, I'm the Housewives fanatic. I've watched all the franchises. I know everything about it. Taj is a little bit more of the Housewives casual, but we are diving into this journey together, kind of bridging the gap between our two places where we're at in appreciation for this show.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that one guy who's only seen Boss Baby, and so he compares every movie to Boss Baby. That's me, and Housewives is like that for Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, because I've only seen that. And I'm like, oh, Liz, she's kind of sounding like Meredith Marks.
Yeah, that's not just a Salt Lake City thing. I think that's just true. I think that's just across the board. People agree with you on that one.
They have that both raspy, like kind of whiny, I'm the cannabis queen. Something kind of like that. Do we want to jump into this show?
This is the 12th franchise in the Real Housewives canon official, not including all the numerous international versions that the series has spun off. Taj, what were your kind of macro thoughts on the episode, on these 6 crazy ladies that we were introduced to?
I think this episode did what it needed to. If you were giving me a Housewives pilot, a hook, you need 2 things, right? We just watched The Ladies of London, which is like the Real Housewives of London, basically. And I think we can kind of compare those 2 episodes to each other, those 2 intro episodes. And I think every first episode of Housewives needs a glimpse onto the Housewives. You got to see who they are, what they're about, and that's kind of what we get this episode. We get a little slice of life moment with each of them. We get more screen time with their husbands than they'll probably be all season, if we're being honest here. And then you need the drama. You need the rumor. You need what the hook is going to be, and we got that. So I think this episode set up the season pretty nicely.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the direction that the Housewives is taking in this sort of new generation of housewives. Um, Salt Lake City seems to have really set a tone of weird because Housewives was not always about women in non-traditional marriages or um, involved in drugs or whatever. That was more like maybe the underbelly of Housewives or whatever. In fact, it was, I would say, more about traditional people. So it's fascinating that as like Salt Lake City has been so popular, they found what kind of feels like Real Houses in New Jersey meets the kookiness of Salt Lake City. And I love it. All
Yeah, this
set.
yeah, very random group of people. You listen to what they're about and what their life is about, and they're all super random. We have like a bachelorette. We have a polygamous relationship, which is kind of the same thing as the bachelorette. Uh, where
That's such a good point. I wonder if
uh,
that'll come up. I didn't even think about that.
it's right. I kind of like that. And then, yeah, we got the cannabis. So we have such a fun group of people.
A rich tapestry.
We do have a great catalog. I think it's a great group of ladies.
Well, and I think something that we talk about because we sort of have these rules that we'll talk about as we talk about the show. But anything you say can and will be used against you is one of our rules. And that is like such an interesting concept with Housewives because as soon as you are cast on Housewives, suddenly everything you've ever said in your life is like potential ammo for these people to bring up and use against you. And we see that in this episode. There's so much history between these ladies, between like dating each other's men and like knowing who each other are dating and growing up together. They have history, and with history comes dirt.
Yeah, I
And
mean
I'm
they say
excited.
it. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
Also, can I just say, when I first started watching this episode, for some reason on Peacock, I accidentally had the subtitles that speak out on the screen. So it's like when you're watching, it describes what's happening on the screen. So it was like a text to speech voice going, Real Housewives of Rhode Island, intro, Liz, house. And I was like, oh, this is very camp. I like this. And then it kept doing it. And I was like, okay, this is not how the show is supposed to. Something is wrong here because it was like Liz washing the house. And I was like, okay, what? This is not right.
You know what's
So
funny? I had
that
the
was my
same
first
thing
take.
happen.
Actually,
Not when I watched at the beginning, but like it just randomly turned on during
yes.
the episode. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I was like, okay, bravo. I like this new take. You're really going all in on the camp, but no, it was just me not understanding the settings on my TV, which usually is the case. Do we want to start with the first scene?
Yeah. So we open up the show. We get well. First, they give like the super cut. They meet all the ladies really quick, but nothing super substantial. We open with Alicia's house, and she's kind of the first housewife that we are introduced to. And I think she is a great way to set the tone for the show because she sounds exactly like Lois Griffin, and so do all of her family members that come over. And it's so funny. Like they're like, "Hello, oh my god, oh," and like there's a scene where they're coming over to visit, and we find out that Alicia's husband Jerry, is it Jerry or Gary? They all
They all,
have stupid
yeah.
names, and I think we should just call all the husbands Peta. Um, but anyways, she's like explaining that her aunts are coming over, and that Peter, Gary, Jerry moved them all the way to Providence, which is the editors show us 15 minutes away, and the aunts are in the car complaining like, "It's just so far. You gotta pack a lunch."
Hey, Lois, I'm at the clam. Hey, Alicia, I'm at the clam. The Quagmire.
Um, Alicia is like obsessed with her daughter. She says that, you know,
Yeah, she's like her
I
mini
like Britney
me.
Spears. She likes Britney Spears.
Everyone is Italian on this show.
Yeah, a lot of them are for sure. And she
Yeah.
has like this big Italian family, and what's more Italian than owning a restaurant? And we find out that Peter, I really don't know his name. I don't know if it's Gary or Jerry. It's Gary, I
Oh
think.
yeah, he doesn't like it. He's like,
No, it's
you made.
Billy. It's
Oh,
Billy.
I don't even remember that.
Sorry, we have notes. I swear to God,
we do have notes.
Um, Billy and her have been engaged for 9 years.
Yeah.
And this is crazy.
Also the pizza place. He's like, hey, you made me make this place look like a girl's place.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about Pizza Mama.
We got yeah, pizza.
I got distracted. Yeah, the premier restaurant in Rhode Island, Pizza Mama.
Well, Pizza Mama, and then we also got a coffee shop later on. That's also
Yeah.
the second highest rated celebrity coffee shop or celebrity restaurant.
We'll get to that, but I take issue with it. So yeah, she has 6 aunts. They all live in Rhode Island, and they come into the house, and this is when we get our first introduction to what I've quickly learned is the slogan or the tagline of Rhode Island, which is like, Rhode Island, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous in the Alicia family, and as you watch the rest of the episode, you will hear that term spread like wildfire through the edit, because I'm sure these women are all saying it. But you even hear freaking Joe Ellen's husband at one point say like, "Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous." Like it's their favorite word.
Yeah, it's their version of lit.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Instead of it's lit, they go, it's gorgeous. Alicia, though, is like, she's one of the top dogs, I think we see, right? Like, I think she's got the inroads with most, and I think we see that later on in the episode. She's a part of this clique, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, I think Alicia is actually a lot more subtle in her strategic maneuvering than her accent would let on. I think she comes across as very like brash, over the top, and would put her foot in her mouth. I'm not saying she won't, but she actually does some things this episode that are sneaky.
Yeah. So
one of Alicia's aunts brings up Liz, which is so funny, and she's like, "Oh, I know Liz has a very big fear of frogs." So funny. Why that was brought up, unclear. But it does transition us to meet Liz, who is my favorite housewife of this franchise. So
I mean, she walks her cat on a harness in her huge deck at her huge house.
yeah, I mean, her house is adorned to look kind of like the Trader's Castle if it was in Rhode Island.
Yeah, it has the knight, right? Doesn't it have the knight in shining armor? Like, it's got
And
the
in her
fright knight.
confessional, she's drinking out of like a silver goblet.
I need a moment in. Okay, picture this: party at Liz's house. All the housewives are there. One of them is trying to eavesdrop because they're all in the kitchen talking. So she goes into the suit of armor and she's listening to them talk shit about her.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo. And you see her eyes through the knight armor.
Liz is a character. She is so unabashedly herself that it almost like hurts. Like it pops out of the screen so much that you just want to like push her back in, because she's literally leaning forward in every single confessional that she does. It's so funny to me. Like throughout the episode, she cannot stay in frame. She like cannot stop moving, and like they're using like a fixed what's it called, depth of field on the camera, so
Yeah.
like when you're sitting at that's where you're in focus. She keeps leaning in and it gets all blurry. She keeps like leaning towards the camera and being like, I don't even know. It's like, sit still.
Yeah, you're ruining the focus. There is a reason we have you sit at the X. She's fun because we get to like see her, and then she's walking the cat, and you're like, all right, that's kind of quirked up. And then she's like, and and we run a huge cannabis empire. And you're like, okay. And then she goes, oh yeah, and then my husband and I are related. And you're like, what?
This was wild.
I get Rhode Island is a small state, but guys, come on. There's got to be some more options here. Come on.
I mean, the way that the show frames it also is her being like, I mean, we were married for 6 months, and then the whole ancestry DNA thing was blowing up, and I guess we're related. But, he had 3 daughters, and all of a sudden, I was a mother. And it's like... You're just going to keep going? Like, you're just going to... You can't just move on.
She jumped over it really fast, and she's like, oh, it's hard being a mother. And you're like, let's circle back. How close are we here?
Yeah.
It makes me think it's closer than you expect.
No, I agree.
It's not you're one person away from someone. You are the person right there to someone.
Liz is so funny. There's a scene where she's sitting at her vanity curling her hair, and she, in my opinion, like, once I found out that Liz is the queen of weed, as she calls herself, this woman is stoned the entire time that she's on camera, or like residually stoned. She just has like a high vibe to her, and so I just imagine that she's just like gone out on her dock, smoked her J, and then she's gonna curl her hair for the day, and she's talking to her husband, and she goes, let's discuss the day, shall we? It's so funny. I don't know why it's so funny, but...
No, it literally, like, intro producer being like, okay, hey, Liz, we gotta, like, talk about what's going on today. Just make it natural. Just make it nonchalant. Yeah. She's like, okay, let's discuss today, Peter.
Peter.
we get to see them also, like, in the lab. They're, like, in the weed lab, and some dude's, like, pouring the wax into a huge beaker. They're like, oh, that looks nice. That looks good.
The trend of weed on Bravo is certainly something that you could, like, plot on a graph and show, like, the number of weed-based storylines over time and how much more popular it's gotten. Because there's I can think of at least one other housewife who owns... No, at least 2 other housewives who own cannabis lines.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
But, like, they were both already on the show when they started the line. It's very much like a celebrity...
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Like,
it's like Bryan Cranston tequila. It's like 818.
Yeah, this feels more like they actually are in the industry because they didn't do it for the show, clearly.
Yeah.
Whereas these other ladies more so made cannabis lines to profit off of their time on Housewives.
Do you think she loaded up Dolores with some goodies while she went on Traders? As we know, they're besties.
Before you go abroad, here you go.
You're gonna get very stressed with the Traders. Smoke this joint.
Here, why don't you spend a week at my house? It will acclimate you to what the Traders Castle will be like.
Yeah. Okay, so Liz kind of brings us into... She does the itinerary, and then we get, like, our first housewife meeting, which is a lunch between Kelsey and Liz.
She tells Peter that she's going to take the dinghy, and this is so funny. She takes this, like... Well, we see Kelsey arrive first, but we then get to see Liz in her, like, orange pontoon boat, jetting over to lunch with Kelsey, and she's wearing like Chanel boots. It's crazy. Her hat blows off. This is one of my favorite like across Housewives in general. I love the different, like, seeing the place that they're in and like how they express that on these reality shows. You know what I mean? Like going back all the way to Orange County. It feels like watching your favorite show, Laguna Beach. Like, it's those big, big shots of, like, these hills looking over the beaches of Southern California. And then you go watch New York, and it's, like, bustling streets, subways. And then, like, Salt Lake City, it's, like, mountain, ski resort. And then we got Rhode Island. It's just so funny already how every shot is, like... wave crashing, boat sailing, and then we cut to Liz just zooming along in her dinghy.
In her dinghy. I wanted to see how she got that hat out.
I don't think she did.
I think she just left it.
She didn't have the hat when she arrived.
She looked like she was in like Fashion of Arrakis. She's wearing like a hoodie, black hoodie, all like covered up. Oh my god. All right, let's talk about this lunch. Yeah, Kelsey's like, "Or you got swamp ass." She pulls up.
Well, Liz tells us in confessional, I know Kelsey because of her boyfriend. They have an age disparity. It's such a funny way of saying he's 20 years older than her.
I think everyone has an age disparity
25 years older than her. Well, Liz is the same age as Kelsey's boyfriend.
Yes.
And that's how she knows Kelsey, because she's actually friends with Kelsey's boyfriend, like growing up.
The whole Kelsey's boyfriend thing is very weird to me.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so she lets us know that she's very like reserved too when she's saying this. Like she is doing the PR answers of what this relationship is, which is they started dating like 10 years ago. She was like pretty 20 what, like 19. Yeah, 19, became Miss Rhode Island, and he has multiple girlfriends because he's out of town all the time.
He spends half the year in Miami with a different woman,
and
then
also
half the year in Rhode Island with her.
And the worst part is every picture they take his face out.
They don't just blur him. They make a like fake ripping effect to show that his face was like ripped out of the photo. Yeah. Which is ominous to say the least.
Oh,
I watched the Watch What Happens Live after this episode where the whole cast was on with Andy. And one thing I thought was interesting, they didn't ask about these pictures. Or no, they didn't ask about the pictures. They asked about her boyfriend. And I guess he's like a reality TV super fan who watches all of these shows, so he probably was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be on that." But
what?
I think it's fascinating because there have certainly been people who have been denied from Housewives because their spouse wouldn't film.
Interesting.
So you have to be interesting enough, or the story has to be interesting enough where you're willing to talk about it. I think it means she's willing to talk about it and end the relationship.
Well, yeah, this was totally like soft launching a breakup with them. I mean, that's like literally
is that. Yeah.
Her first confessional is her saying, I mean, she says what her piece is. She's like, "I'm ready to settle down and have good old fashioned monogamy, one-on-one monogamy." But this guy, he kind of reminds me of like Codename Kids Next Door. There's like the villain, like the adults. And it's like it's like a dude with a completely blacked out face and like a smoking pipe sticking out of it. Like all I can picture this guy is a faceless hooded. He's like the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings. He's like, you don't know what he looks like. And I kind of like not knowing what his face is.
You don't need to know his face, but I do have some tea about who he allegedly is.
Soup Man.
According to the Reddit, he allegedly is I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Caprio or Caprio.
Is that an astrology sign?
No, it is a
Rising
very famous family in Rhode Island. Famous enough that you may have known about his father. Have you ever heard of the nice judge on TikTok who's like an old man?
Maybe. Is he like the one who's like, "I see what you're doing, and I'm gonna make it right with you." And
yes,
I think I have seen like a viral clip like that. The guy's like, "All
right,
viral clip. I got a DUI, but if you're gonna let me off go scot free, then I appreciate it, man. Thank you, nice judge."
Frank Caprio or Caprio, who I believe just passed away last year. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But allegedly, this is one of his sons. One of his other sons is like the senator for Rhode Island or something like that.
What? So we have someone controlling the legislature of Rhode Island and then we have another one who's controlling the reality TV backroads. The power is just strong.
He is the
Is he
member
also
of the Rhode Island House of Representatives. Sorry.
That's great. Okay, yeah. So we got two guys with a
Oh,
lot of power going on in here. This is a. Did they also make Capri Sun?
he's been in multiple things, actually. He was Rhode Island House of Representatives, Rhode Island Senate, and the treasurer.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say traitors. My
No.
brain is so reality TV pilled. I hear TR saying traitors.
And he's going to be on the Traders. Sorry, what did you ask me?
Do you make Capri Sun too?
Capri Sun? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
No.
Okay,
Can we just like this? There is something about this relationship which just feels so off-putting to me, and I really feel like we are not being told the full story here because she's so locked in with this. I think here's my take on Kelsey. I appreciate you standing on business and talking about this relationship, but as we see later, it becomes like the point of drama for all the housewives later on. And girl, you need to stand on business even more. I think she needs to own it more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This gets brought up later, and she's like, "What are you talking about? Like, are you talking about my relationship?" Like, she needs to be like, "Yeah, I am in a polygamous relationship. What
You're right.
about it? And I'm Miss Rhode Island."
Because she's like chumming the waters for them. And I think this comes down to like the strategy of being on a reality show. Like, if you want to be on this show, you have to divulge your life. If you're going to divulge your life, people will talk about it. You have to be comfortable with that. And I think a lot of these people are like comfortable sharing on their terms, but the minute they lose control of the narrative, they panic. And I think that's Kelsey a little bit. She felt like Rosie was, and even Rosie herself, who we haven't met yet, but she has a moment of panic where I feel like she thought she was losing control of the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think Kelsey's story this season is going to just be about this relationship. I mean, that's all we heard at the lunch. That's all we heard later. It's that and her taking the seeds out of her lemons.
Yeah.
That was all we covered this.
That was such an interesting thing.
The seeds out of the lemon?
Yeah, such a random thing to hyperfixate on, I feel like.
I guess I get it, right? If you got a big lemon, you don't want to suck up a big old seed in the straw.
Yeah, but like,
And then it grows in your belly. Maybe she was just like one of those kids where she heard that like if the watermelon seed, you swallow it, you grow the plant in your stomach. I could see her being like, that's real. That's real, and I don't want that to happen to me.
I had a pregnant lady tell me that when I was a kid. She was like, I swallowed a watermelon seed. And I was like,
that's just elite trolling.
hello?
Because then if she's like, I'm pregnant, how old were you? 10?
How old was I? I
Yeah.
don't know. I was like 6 maybe.
Okay, well, she was like, I'm pregnant, and the 6-year-old's like, how'd you get pregnant? Then she's not going to tell that to a 6-year-old. So the watermelon swallowing is... It's kind of
I don't even think I knew what pregnant meant. I think I was just like...
Lay off the cheeseburgers?
No, I think I was just like, what's in your belly? I don't remember.
All right. Should we go on to our next scene?
Yes.
We get to meet Joe Ellen.
Joellen Tiberi and her husband, PETA.
That's a crazy name. Joe Ellen Tiberi.
Yeah, it is. It's a great name.
It's a great name. Tiberi's like warlord last name.
Isn't that the river? The Tiber River?
I don't know. Is there rivers? I don't know rivers.
I'm pretty sure the Tiber is a river in like Rome.
I'll get your word for it. But Joellen Tiberi is a housewife in Rhode Island. Her whole story is also insane. We're just going down the list of where do you find these people? Give these casting directors a raise. She stole her man from her sister. I don't like how she's telling us about how she met PETA, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he was a senior in high school, and I was just a little innocent freshman." And I'm like, "Okay, do not say it like that. Don't even tell me that. I do not want to know that."
Yeah,
Senior to freshman is rough.
That was gross, but then this is evidence I want to introduce into the file, because we learn more things later on about this woman and her relationship that to me are immediately true. Because if she was already flirting with her now husband when she was a freshman in high school, granted we don't know when she eventually got him, I don't think.
Yeah.
But like we find out later that she was like hooking up with like the guy at the bowling alley or whatever it was.
The tanning salon?
Tanning salon, thank
Yeah.
you. And it's like, when did that happen? If you were with you stole your husband from your sister in high school. It's unclear right now.
I know the timeline is gray. Yeah. Okay, we need to bring that up again. She stole her man from her sister.
Yeah, and this is something I want to bring up. We'll talk about it again when it comes up. But at one point, Alicia does introduce into the evidence that, like, low key, his name's actually Gary, is still into Joellen's sister.
Oh, I missed this.
Alicia, yes, it's like very subtle, and that's what I mean by Alicia is subtle with the way she's doing this crap.
Yeah.
But she is pulling it off very well. I think she basically says like, Alicia was friends with Joellen's sister Jen, and she was friends with Gary.
Yes.
And then she says like, but I think Gary is closer with his sister-in-law than he is with me. And the producer's like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, Joellen, not to jump the gun here, but I think we are introduced to our center pearl.
Ooh. I think she is... I don't think she's the center pearl, but I think... Well, okay, what are we using that term in our own lingo? As in, like, that's the number one on our list?
I think she's top, I think she's top dog here, and I think she big dogs.
I think she is absolutely like the queen bee of this group. And she's also already a legendary housewife. I can tell you this woman will be giving us great TV for years to come.
Oh, and we're getting some good drama allegations with her. Can we talk about when she's at like dinner with Gary? We can call Gary not Peter. Gary is a Gary. He's truly Gary. Yeah. They get the food. He's like, "Hey, I can't wait to get these oysters." Like, what?
Well, and he also, Gary, this I don't know whether to like love it or hate it, but he orders a dirty martini extra dirty with blue cheese olives, which is the Vicky Gunvalson drink. And I know you don't necessarily know what that means, Taj, but she is like the original housewife. She was on season 1 of Orange County. She's coming back for season 20.
Maybe it was referenced. Maybe he was throwing a little allusion out there. Is he a housewife?
Was he referring to this? Was he trying to steal it?
Oh.
Because that's not going to be your drink, Gary, no matter how hard you try. I'm not even a Vicky Gunvalson fan. I don't like her at all, but it's her drink.
It's not the Gary. Because all I realized is he ordered that after he ate the oysters, and I'm like, that's weird. Why would you not want to drink that before the oysters? And also, an extra dirty martini with blue cheese olives, it sounds like bad breath, and you're going to fart a lot.
And you know he went home and tried to hook up with his wife.
She said that. She was like,
"Yeah,
you're trying to get me drunk. It's gonna end in 2 ways. I might go to bed early."
It's gonna end with me throwing up in your mouth when I taste the combination of blue cheese, olives, and oysters. That's disgusting.
Yeah, and the extra dirty too, just straight alcohol. Dude, reeking of alcohol and cheese.
No, extra dirty, doesn't extra dirty mean more olive juice?
More olive juice. Yeah, but it's still straight alcohol. It's a martini.
If it's not dirty, then it's straight alcohol because there's no olive juice.
You're still smelling like
Oh yeah,
liquor and
liquor
cheese,
and funky
and
blue cheese
and your
and
fingers smell like oysters.
green olives and oysters.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And imagine all of that like swirling around in your belly.
Can't wait to get these.
Disgusting.
Can't wait to get these oysters.
These oysters.
No, it's a good set. We have some good scenes later with her, but then we get the other side of it. I think Joellen sets it up, but now we really start to hear, okay, guys, enough with the slice of life. This is at home. This is how we work with our husbands. This is where we get the rundown of this is how things are here. It's a small state, but there is a hierarchy, and we are told this back with Alicia where we meet Rosie. And she's driving a pink Jeep, which I feel like is a tour bus. Like, pink Jeep is like you go to any...
Arizona speaking.
That is Sedona pink Jeep tours, for sure. But yeah, we get Rosie, who is our news anchor, who only gets 215 views.
She addressed that on Watch What Happens Live. It's not a YouTube series. So maybe it gets uploaded to YouTube, but according to her, it's like morning talk news.
Yeah,
So it airs at like 6 in the morning for old people. She like said that. So I don't get why Joellen's being shady. I get why she's being shady.
You get why? Yeah. Yeah. Who's watching the news on YouTube?
No one.
Yeah.
Alicia says that she's known Rosie for 2 years, but then she says, "I don't know. I'm bad at math." That sent me into outer space. Like, counting to 2? You can't count to 2? You can't do 2023 minus 2025 in your head?
Maybe she got some of Liz's weed pre-scene.
I don't know.
If she okay,
I don't know if she can make it to the dispensary. It's probably like 10 minutes away, and that's really far. I got to pack a lunch.
Can you imagine if you got high and then you were using those bouncy shoes that they were going up and down on? I feel like I would throw up and get scared. I feel like that's too much movement to be under the influence of cannabis or like alcohol. If you're drunk with those bouncy shoes,
I just don't see the point of. They don't look very fun to me, and it kind of just gives like shake weight.
yeah. It's giving a Special K Fiber One bar.
Rosie also tells us about her Peter, and one of the things is that this Peter is a Frank Sinatra singer, not an impersonator, because that upsets him.
Yes.
That is so funny to me. Like, the fact that she said that is so, like, stupid almost. Like, I loved it for me because it's funny, but someone's going to call him a Frank Sinatra impersonator to his face on purpose now. I would.
It's good, too, because you can tell that he said it to her a bunch. Where he's like, I'm not an impersonator. I'm not.
She's probably, they're meeting friends, and she's like, oh, this is my husband, Peter. He's a Frank Sinatra impersonator, and he's like, singer. I'm a singer.
Yeah.
I am a surgeon.
Okay. Also, if he's a Frank Sinatra singer, he is not a Peter. He is a Brian. Because if we're going by Family Guy rules of logic, Brian sings Frank Sinatra with Frank Sinatra Jr. in Family Guy.
Family Guy knowledge begins and ends at the Griffin core family.
Well, Brian's part of the core family. He's the dog.
I thought, yeah.
He's the dog.
In my head, I was thinking of who's the cop?
Joe? Hey,
Joe.
Peter. Hey, Peter.
Okay, anyways.
I think Kelsey's man is Quagmire, if we're being real here. Giggity, giggity. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, we get to hear he's not an impersonator, and then Alicia and Rosie, they're talking, and Rosie is all scared about
this. Yeah. Moment number 1, where Alicia is being very subtle, because I know it's a TV show. I know they have to talk about it, But Alicia is very good about bringing it up in a way where she's not like painting herself, even though they're very clearly, she's very clearly welcoming the conversation of how do you feel about Joellen coming to your picnic? That is the subtext of what she's saying. But instead, she just says like, "Oh, so your picnic? How are you feeling about that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is where we are getting, like, of our rules of Housewives, number 5, which is every scene is an opportunity and every scene has a purpose.
Yes.
And yeah, it starts with them doing a little shake weight workout cardio, but then we get to hear the breakdown of, okay, this is how the hierarchy works. Know your place. And Rosie even tells us about like the clique, and she calls it that. So that's our alliance name. That's canon
now.
Yeah, that's actually canon. Yeah, so that's Alicia, which is interesting because she's there, right? She's talking to her about this. Joellen, Kelsey, and Liz.
I think Alicia is like clearly the number 4 of this trio. Later or actually earlier in the episode, when we meet Joellen and she's talking with her husband at the dinner, there's a scene where she's in confessional. She's like, I just don't even understand why people would tell me anything because I blabbed to my best friends. But they only show Kelsey and Liz.
Yeah, and we are told later, too, that Liz and Kelsey are number 1s, right? It's the oldest and the youngest housewife, but
Yep.
she's like, I love her anyways.
That trio is very tight.
Yeah. And Joellen's the head of the snake.
For sure.
But, yeah, so then Alicia starts to play ball, right? She starts to play ball. She starts to go like, all right, Rosie, tell me how you really feel. Says that like Joellen is insecure about being the villain, so she puts the darkness on everyone else to take the attention off of her, which is just Housewife Shade 101.
I mean, she's basically saying that like Joellen's hiding something.
Yeah, which we kind of learn a little bit later. Could be a little upside down pineapple action. Yeah,
it's the next sentence. Rosie brings up like, oh, we've all heard the rumor, and then Alicia just full out says like, oh yeah, I heard she might be a swinger. And then at this point is when we get the scene where Alicia says that Gary is closer to his sister-in-law than he was to Alicia. So the editors are very clearly trying to imply that they either swing with the sister or there's some weird ish going on.
I don't want to know
that family.
Yeah, I don't want to even know. Well, yeah, and so we kind of get a little bit of why Rosie is against them, because this is all off camera before the show starts filming. They have like a meetup. Rosie brings $10 wine, and she's in the other room, and then Joellen's talking shit about her outside the room.
Yeah.
It's a little vague. We kind of like don't really... We get told a little bit later, but it's still like kind of black and white on what's going on here. Or maybe gray. I'd say more gray.
And then the scene kind of like weirdly ends where they look out and they see a heron standing in the water. But neither of these women know what a heron is. They identify pretty much every other bird you could think of.
Is that an ostrich?
Which is crazy. They settle on a goose on Ozempic.
Yeah. Which, if you live in Rhode Island, I feel like you see a heron all the time.
This was the first time they've actually walked out of their houses.
Well, yeah, we told us the first time they're doing cardio in a while.
Well, also, like, if driving 15 minutes is far, like, I can't imagine what walking for half an hour feels like to these people.
Well, it's a very small state, Garrett. So, like, 15 minutes driving is like 45 minutes anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these people, they wake up, they go take the trash out, and they're like, I've traveled to another state this morning.
Yeah, when they take the dinghy, they probably feel like they're going across international waters.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, this scene closing like that, it feels like an SNL sketch when they don't know a good button to end it on.
It does, yeah.
So they're just kind of like
they just say something random.
Yeah, and then blackout. You're like, okay. But this segues into like, let's start the show. In my opinion, like we got all this precursor out of the way. So let's start going. It's not a Housewives season until the tears come out.
Yeah.
We got early.
Rosie is having her picnic lunch,
Yeah.
and this includes a little scene where she's like hosting her morning show. We find out it's called Road Trippin'.
Yes. Yeah. And Joellen, that's when it gets 216 views. Which, how is Road Trippin' not taken? How is that not taken for a different lifestyle
It's a small
show?
state.
Yeah.
Also, what road trip are you taking through Rhode Island? It's like 1 hour long.
Well, as we know, 15 minutes is a whole other city. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
true.
you're road tripping across the whole thing.
Actually, you could probably get so many road trips out of Rhode Island if you're going on Rhode Island math.
Yeah.
And Alicia
Yeah.
is bad at math, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Okay, this scene, I had to write this down because it made me laugh so hard. She gets her whole spread set up for lunch, and they have the charcuterie boards, and she's like, we have here, who are you? And she's like, I'm the chief salami officer. Do we have to do the title? Just say you're the chef.
She prompted her for it.
Yeah. She's like, no, use your official title. I'm the CSO, chief salami officer.
This is when we first meet Ashley, who is from the Bachelor franchise, and I feel like you can tell.
This is crazy to me. This cross-sectional hopping of shows. She was on The Bachelor and then Bachelor in Paradise, and still in a relationship from Bachelor in Paradise, which we'll meet later. And then now she's on the cast. Like, is the state that small that we literally had to get 2 transplants in here? We had to get Ashley from Bachelor in Paradise and Dolores from a different Housewives. Is that how small this state is? We couldn't get anyone else?
I guess so.
But I like Ashley. I think she's kind of the almost like the audience surrogate, right? Where she's like new to the dynamic. She's new to Rhode Island, so she's learning all the customs and how to say, oh, it's so gorgeous, and getting accustomed to everything just like the audience is.
Yeah. This is sort of, like you were saying, where the drama all comes to a head.
Mm-hmm.
They launch Never Have I Ever, which is a classic like Housewives producers move. Be like, okay, play a game to talk about stuff. They do some like opening questions. They talk about if they've done butt stuff. Alicia says, if someone ever touched my butt, I would get a gun and kill them, which literally made me laugh so hard. I was crying. And then Rosie says, never have I ever been a polygamist. I thought Kelsey was that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is so perfect because it's you are not slick. Doing the never have I ever and going from, hey, have you doing butt stuff? Okay, no. Have you I don't know, have you ever bounced on it freaky style? No. Okay, have you ever been in a polygamous relationship? Oh, hey, now that you're talking about polygamous relationships, isn't your girl Kelsey in one of those? Yeah. What's up with that? It's like those guys in high school are like 20 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite color? Number 2, what's your body count? Like, you never heard of that?
Taj, I'm a gay boy. I didn't interact with that.
Well, it was like a joke that I think transpired to people making jokes of that. But regardless, your ass is not slick.
No, not at all. And she gets caught because Joellen is like very defensive, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I think if you want to talk about rumors, then ask Kelsey.
Yeah, I think it's perfect that we got the scene before, which shows the click, because we know Kelsey is her girl, is Joe's girl, and she's not spilling her tea.
For sure. And then this also then, spirals into Joellen and Rosie having their kind of beef out, which is when we find out that Rosie heard Kelsey say some rude shit at that event you were talking about. She said that you were evil and even children wouldn't like me. And Joellen says, I don't think I said that to your face, but I do feel that way, which is crazy.
It's so funny. And they just go after Rosie. She's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah.
this is like on Survivor when someone tries to throw out a name like too early and then they get ganged up on instead. Like Jenna
Yes.
Lewis.
Jenna Lewis on Survivor 50. Yep.
That's what Rosie did.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. She picked the fight, but I don't know if she realized how tight they were, because Joellen just went after her, and I think we get our first like loss because Rosie cried, and if you cry, you lose the fight.
Sometimes. If
And
they make you cry, sure. But sometimes you can win the fight by crying.
I would say in this case, Rosie lost pretty
No,
hard.
absolutely. Because Rosie just cried because she felt bad.
Yes.
There's a lot of nuance in Housewives.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're breaking it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, she cries, and then that causes them to be like, okay, let's just start over. We're good. You can come to my July 4th party, which is perfect, right? It's a Housewives first episode. We need everyone to meet up at some big event, and what's better than a July 4th party?
It's a good Rhode Island themed event because we find out from Joellen. 4th of July is huge in Rhode Island. Joellen has no idea why because she doesn't know what the 4th of July is.
Yeah, what?
But, here we are.
What are we doing here? How do you not know that? Is everyone bad at math? Is Rhode Island so small we just don't know what's going on? Rhode Island has like a very good education system also.
I do think that saying you don't know what the 4th of July is because you're bad at math is a very Rhode Island thing to say. So I'm on board with you.
Also, I feel like July 4th in Rhode Island is very like it's its own sort of like aesthetic. Like POV, you're in Rhode Island for July 4th, and you see like white picket fences with American flag hanging off like the houses in like a patriotic way. It kind of feels like a vibe.
Yeah,
I would like to do that. I would like to go there.
and it definitely sets the scene uniquely. So we get sort of one little scene with Ashley and Jared at Audrey's coffee shop. Like you said, this is the second rated celebrity restaurant in the United States, which I took issue with. I've thought about this since the day it aired. Second rated? I get that it implies like second highest, but it doesn't sound right to me. It sounds like you were the second one rated. Like there was only 2 celebrity restaurants and we rated yours second.
Yeah, this scene also is honestly, I thought it was the best scene in the whole show.
It was so funny. It was like an SNL sketch.
No, literally, because Ashley's just trying to like tell Jared all these sore things, and he just keeps interrupting her, like, coffee for Becky. She's like, I really need you to listen to this. And he's like, okay. Sorry, Michael's been waiting for his iced latte for a while now.
Yeah, it feels like symbolic of their whole relationship, of like miscommunication, timing issues kind of thing.
Yeah. He's always working.
I feel like he cares, but like he's always working and like he can't make the time for her that she needs, but like she's kind of coming out the wrong time for him. Whole thing.
He worked 100 hours their first week. But I like them a lot. This is a couple that this is a Peter, which I like it when they're all her and them are interacting.
He's hot.
Okay, well, he was on The Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes.
So I feel like it's a kind of have to. Anyways, we get the big scene, which is the 4th of July party with our caviar hot dogs and caricature booth.
It's very on the nose to have caricatures at a Real Housewives event.
That's so perfect. That's actually so perfect.
This is when we get like the fact that Joellen and Kelsey have known each other since high school, and Joellen was hooking up with the tanning owner and his wife. So this is where I'm like confused, and also I think it's interesting when you're talking about Ladies of London, the way that Joellen had Kelsey's back and like wouldn't talk about the rumors at all, But then in confessional, Kelsey low-key adds to the rumors about Joellen swinging.
Yeah, yeah. It's all shade behind the scenes. Um, no, yeah. So like, get Dolores as well. Dolores is brought in. I
Yes.
appreciate that they did be aware. They were aware that Liz and Dolores look similar. Same
Yeah, I
teeth,
mean,
same surgeon or whatever.
yeah, they have the same surgeon. Also, Dolores to me is like the sourdough starter of this franchise. Like they took like an existing housewife and like plopped her in with this cast so that they would like grow off of her.
Yeah,
Um, because there's like little things Dolores does as someone who's been on these shows for a long time now. That's so funny because Kelsey's like freaking out, like, why are they asking questions about my poly situation? Blah 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 blah. And Dolores is like, is there a reason she's asking questions, or like, is there something going on? Like Dolores knows that there's something afoot.
yeah, yeah. She's like prompting her, like, "All right, come on, honey. This is what we gotta do here. Either fight or flight here."
Also, Dolores is like literally telling Joellen, "You have a hostess, so you need to greet Rosie." It's very coded language, as in you
Yes.
have to engage in the storyline.
Yes, absolutely. It's literally what we've talked about with some of these new reality TV shows where they put like a reality star
Yeah.
in it with like a newbie cast where it
Yes.
gets them going early. It's like a Deal or No Deal Island, right? We have
Yeah.
Parvati trying to like, all right, guys, let's get playing the game here.
Yeah.
So
If
then everyone
you're
else has to reach that level.
in chemistry, if you're trying to like generate a crystal, you use a small existing bit of crystal to
Oh
form
wow.
because it like builds the structure around the crystal shape that you already have. That's what Dolores is.
Look at that. We get a little scientific on this thing also.
Yeah.
Look at that. Very nice. Yeah. So it was good to see Dolores. We'll see how she's kind of like friend of, but housewife. I don't really get her title here. Are they
She's a
giving
friend
her?
of. She's a friend of.
Because yeah, they put the in their Chiron. It said Liz's friend.
Yeah, she's a friend
Yeah. Okay.
of. The caviar wieners that you mentioned was Meredith Marks caviar. Gotta point that out.
Oh wow. Yeah. Look at that. It all comes back to something. We have the dirty martini reference and then the Meredith Marks caviar reference.
Yeah. Kelsey low-key confronts Alicia and kind of asks if anyone's been questioning about her relationship. And this is a moment where I have to take a point off for Alicia because she kind of equivocates in this moment and doesn't really say what she feels about Kelsey to her face to avoid drama, seemingly.
Yeah, yeah, and then Rosie, and then we have Kelsey and Rosie, because this whole thing is really, it's interesting that like polygamy is the subject of two storylines within the same episode, because it's both with
It's
Joe
insane.
and Kelsey. Yeah, which
Yeah.
here to me it's such a big thing on Housewives because it breaks against the name of the housewife, right? Like the housewife, it's in your name, it's in your title, traditional, you're a real housewife. And so when an allegation comes up that you swing or adultery or whatever, it's directly against your title of housewife.
Yeah.
But
And it's like you don't want to be the brunt of the joke. You don't want to be the one that's like the end of the short end of the stick,
yes.
especially at the
Yes.
beginning of the season.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
Which
then
is
we
what
have Rosie and oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I think that's what this whole episode is. It's like a power struggle for like who's gonna be our bottom bitch to start out. Joellen wants it to be Rosie, but Kelsey is like low key doing everything in her power to make it her because she just has the best gossip for other people to talk about.
Yeah, exactly, right? Everyone's talking about it in every scene. They're fueling it forward. But then even when Kelsey confronts Rosie about it, Rosie's like, no, that was Joellen. Joellen brought it up.
Not true.
Yes!
Joellen says, and I quote, she's going through a lot. She's kind of in between what she wants to do in the future. And Rosie says, like a personal change, and then Joellen like backs off because she realizes what Rosie's trying to do. She's trying to bait that conversation out of Joellen so that she can throw Kelsey under the bus because they're all trying to figure out who's going to be the first one that they all attack.
Yeah, and hey, look. Let's be real here. Rosie, part of our rules of Housewives includes rule number 7: lying is fine unless you get caught.
True.
So play it with care. But I like Rosie because to me, this is what we see. This is the start of the drama is Rosie versus the clique, right? Directly Rosie versus Joellen.
Yeah.
And Rosie's still trying to get some shots up, but she's kind of missing. But I like her. She's got fighting spirit. She kind of reminds me of Whitney Rose from Salt Lake City. Not just because it's Rose and Rosie, but just like the younger housewife who keeps trying to take shots at the large group.
For sure. Let's do our power rankings. Do you want
Our
to start at number
Pearl-
1 or number 6?
Let's go. Let's start lowest to top for our Pearl rankings. Who is our bottom housewife? Our housewife lowest on the totem pole of our power rankings.
I think, unfortunately, just due to crying, losing that fight, and sort of ultimately being kind of like left out to dry by the other ladies, I have to put Rosie at the bottom.
I put Rula, the housewife that wasn't in the episode.
I didn't even include her.
Funny enough, I didn't have Rosie. I put, for my power rankings, I had Ashley.
Okay, that's why I have at 5.
Okay, I think we have them flipped then, because I think Ashley, her number one's Rosie, and she really has no one else. So she's already at a disadvantage. She's already at a disadvantage, though. That's true, but Rosie's still putting up some shots. I gotta give her that.
Yeah, but I feel like if this was Survivor, Rosie would be the one getting voted out, not Ashley.
You think, but sometimes the most obvious vote
Okay.
isn't.
At number 4, I have Kelsey.
Me too. I have Kelsey as well. I mean, she is in the clique, which I think is a positive thing because that was established in canon, but she still doesn't have any like fighting spirit. She doesn't have any fighting. Yeah. Everything's going against her. She's constantly on defense. She has no offense.
Number 3, I have Alicia.
Okay, so I have Liz as my number 3.
I think Liz feels more solid in this group. Everyone likes her. Everyone trusts her. She's not in the center of anything. I think Alicia feels a little bit more low-key and is already kind of like angling against Kelsey and stuff.
Yeah, so then we probably have them flipped.
Yep, and then we both have Joellen as number 1.
And we both have Joellen as number 1. Absolutely. I think, like I said, center Pearl, I think Joellen is leading the narrative. And as we can see, she can take a fight, which is strong. An offense is better than a good defense on Housewives.
For sure. Well, that was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where this season goes, how these rankings change as these women engage in more drama. We'll see you back here next time on Producer Plants. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.